Hey, IOStax here. Today I will make my first VoD review. This VoD has been sent in by Miisc. He is a gold level player, which is over here, and I want you to not be harsh to him in the comments. It takes a lot of courage to send in a VoD, and it takes the right mindset to do it in the first place, so I really commend him for that. The pregame. This team comp is bad. Mercy needs a second tank, and something like a Rotok or Zarya would have helped you a lot. Your FPS is very low and your ping high. You should definitely fix that. It's really bad. You tend to spam right click a lot instead of left click. Let's look at a few examples. Here we can see that you spam right click at the enemy Mei. This range is way too long for right click. You tend to play too passively, which hinders your impact on the game. In this situation, for instance, they left you alone with their Mercy. You could have just dashed onto her and killed her. If you were a McCree, your positioning would actually be really good. However, you don't need to play in the team like that. You can just dash forward and play a lot more aggressively instead of dying with the team. You can position yourself a lot more aggressively here. You can go into the hotel and get a nice vantage point and spam down on them, which means that they always have to look out for you, and you can get some quick ult charge. Once again, the enemy Mercy is out of position. You should be able to kill her in this situation. You can see that the Roadhog is dying and Mercy is fleeing. However, instead of chasing her, you run away, and she realizes that and goes in back for the rest. When a Mei wards, it's usually to defend herself because she's afraid. Fear is really good and you can take advantage of that. So in this situation, you should have stayed after the Mei. Probably one of your biggest flaws is that you hold your ultimates for way too long. Take a look at the following clip and look at his ultimate meter. You didn't use your ultimate in almost 3 minutes. In that time, you could have gotten it at least 3 times. It is generally not a good idea to use your ultimate when you have 21 HP, you'll just waste it. Sometimes your plays seemed as if they weren't really planned out. So in this situation, you decide to ult. You have the target Zen, Bastion, and D.Va. You decide to go for the Bastion, which is probably the correct choice. Now after that, you have the choice between Zen, Reinhardt, D.Va, and Mei. However, you dash onto the Reinhardt and it didn't really seem like you were planning anything, so you just died. Every time you play, you should always think about a plan when going in, especially with Genji. Try to think of which order of targets you will choose and which one are easy to kill. This makes ulting a lot more successful. You tend to waste your cooldowns a lot as well, i.e. your deflect and your dash. Here you use deflect even though there wasn't really anything to deflect. Again, in this situation, you used your deflect, but it didn't really deflect anything. Here you wasted your dash for nothing. And in this situation, you have almost 110 HP, and you decide to dash in, which isn't really good. And obviously you'll die afterwards because you're out of position. Even though you're nano boosted and you have your Dragon Blade, you still should kill the teleporter first, because if you kill everyone, they can just come back through it. This is where your inflexibility shows. The enemies have a Mace, Symmetra, and a Torbjorn, so they essentially counterpicked you really hard. Just look at this clip. You can clearly see how little he is doing because Symmetra and Mei are annoying the shit out of him. Here's a little summary. Try to fix your FPS and your ping because they are atrocious. Don't save your ultimate as much. 1 or 2 kills with the Genji ultimate are usually good to win a teamfight. You didn't communicate at all and you didn't make any calls. Now I edited out the audio, but you have to believe me on that. Also your team comp sucked, you needed a second tank, and you need to realize when you got countered and swap accordingly. This is the rating that I came up with for you. Now for things that I can't really rate, like your mindset and your time investment, I just used 2 because it's between 1 and 3. And we get a number of around 13, which is where your actual rating is, which is high gold to low plat. And in my opinion, you could easily get platinum. However, if you want to climb further, you really need to work on your positioning, game sense, teamwork, communication, and obviously your flexibility. Simply switching to a tank or communicating with your runner to make nano boost Dragon Blade combos would have helped you stomp that game. Now, you still won it, but in my opinion, you still did a lot wrong.